So I want to share a little bit about my history. I ended up with chronic fatigue syndrome through most of my 30s. It took me 8 years to fully recover. And I want to share how I ended up getting that. So I grew up in a dysfunctional family, as many of us do. And I learned that I am not good enough just the way I am, that I'm not lovable, I'm not valued for just the way I am. What was valued was achievements. So I became the smart one, the academic one. Emotions weren't accepted. So although I was a sensitive and emotional person and had occasional emotional outbursts, in general, I learned to stuff them down. And I also learned to be a good girl and a people pleaser because both of my parents were stressed. My dad was a silent rager with occasional actual rage outbursts, which were super scary. And the survival strategy for a child is a child that becomes a people pleaser is how can I change myself? How can I behave in a way that will reduce the stress that my parents are feeling so that they will show up for me? Of course, that didn't work. My behavior didn't change them. But nonetheless, I carried those survival strategies, those traumas, those wounds into my 20s. I kept on setting super high goals that made me anxious because it was hard to achieve them. I had so much anxiety around exams and achieving academically, achieving physically with crazy mountaineering sports and rock climbing and cycling and all sorts of things. And a lot of my behavior was based on trying to please people. So I really didn't know who I was. I wasn't able to express my emotions. And although my body was knocking on the door telling me to listen, to slow down, and to pay attention to my inner world, I wasn't. So, what a nervous system does eventually is knock louder with a chronic illness. And I got slammed down. And yeah, so that healing journey eventually required me to learn about the nervous system, or at least when I started learning about the nervous system, about how trauma can manifest, not in big ways like war or sexual or physical abuse, but those many ruptures of my emotions not being allowed and not feeling loved, valued, seen, and heard for who I truly was, that I needed to heal that. And that is what eventually started getting me out of CFS. Now, healing a chronic illness takes a lot more than that, but that was a huge piece to my healing journey.